Coming up on today's Philadelphia Eagles now is help on the way at cornerback in the wake of Avonte Maddox's injury to his pec. The Philadelphia Eagles today working out longtime corner, former first-round pick in William Jackson. We'll talk about that, what it could mean for Philadelphia, and the player who he is. First, though, going to be going live on Eagles Now today on this fine Tuesday. Come hang out with us as we discuss everything Eagles-related. 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Subscribe, turn on those notifications. Therefore, anytime we push out this content, in case you really like it, you will be notified. That includes regular videos like this, live shows as well. And without further ado, William Jackson. Is he going to sign with the Birds? Let's get into it right now. Welcome into the show. I'm Chase Sr. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now, and today's show is presented by Manscaped. The Eagles' entire line of jerseys, very fresh. And I've been going on a lot of runs over the last couple of days, rocking some Eagles gear, and that fresh fall feeling is in the air. You can just smell the leaves out there as I'm hitting one of the trails here in Dallas, and it's fresh ball fall, right? So you need to be in the festive spirit. Yes, that's right. Fresh ball fall is upon us. It's football season. Light a candle, get some pumpkin spice, make sure your balls look nice with the sponsor of today's show, Manscaped. Nature may clear the leaves of their trees, but you'll need Manscaped's help to get you ready for that sweater weather. Get your pants puppies prepared for cuffing season and a trim as refreshing as a fall breeze like I get hit with during those runs by going to manscaped.com/chat. And when you use the code chat, you get 20% off and free shipping. We're talking for the bearded men out there, the Beard Hedger. If you're looking for a standard razor, the Lawnmower 4.0. Their boxer briefs, the most comfortable boxer briefs that I have ever worn. You can see for yourselves and check out all of these products right now, manscaped.com/chat. We're going to put that link in the comments section and in the description of this video. The Lawnmower 4.0 will go through all of those straggly hairs, just like DeAndre Swift ran through the Minnesota Vikings on Thursday Night Football. That's promo code chat. Save today and get the best men's grooming products. Join the 9 million men who have entrusted Manscaped with that. All right. Let's talk about William Jackson here. The official show is underway here. According to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, who I actually just found out is the son of Howard Schultz, who was a part of founding Starbucks in America. Now he's an NFL insider, his son. Jordan reported this earlier today on Tuesday. Former Commanders cornerback William Jackson working out for the Eagles today. He is a sub-4.4 40-yard dash corner who I'm told Schultz said is fully healthy after enduring a bulging disc in his back last year. If the name sounds familiar, if the face sounds familiar, that's because the previous 2 seasons he was playing in the NFC East with the Washington Commanders. The scouting report on him and a little background info on William Jackson III. Played his college football at Houston. For those of you who also went to Temple University like me, he was playing for Houston when they were in the American Athletic Conference. Very solid player with the Cougars when they were really competitive. Like that was around the time when Greg Ward, the quarterback, was there. They were winning the AAC. Jackson a part of that success. Good enough for him to be a first-round pick by the Cincinnati Bengals in 2016. As far as his role at the NFL level, he has primarily played outside, solid size at 6 foot, 189 pounds. Lot of experience, too, since coming into the league in 2016. 75 games under his belt, and that does include 64 starts. As for the stops that he's made, 2 so far up to this point for the 30-year-old cornerback, from 2017 to 2020 with the Cincinnati Bengals, and then the Commanders the last 2 years in 2021, 2022. Only played in 4 games last year because of that bulging disc. Pro Football Focus grade a year ago, 49.6 in those 4 games, a coverage grade of 48.9, had 127 coverage snaps. The quarterback rating when targeted was well over 100 as well. So did play a lot in 2022. That's why we show you his 2021 numbers. A little bit healthier that year after signing with Washington, spending those couple of years with the Bengals. 12 games 2 years ago. 12 starts for William Jackson. 8 pass breakups, so somewhat of a knack for making a play on the football. Pro Football Focus coverage grade in 2021, not great. 59.5, 70 and above is league average to good to great. Obviously, as you escalate up that scale, 494 snaps and 2 picks. So the 8 pass breakups, the 2 interceptions, he has name value because he's a former first-round pick and primarily played outside. But if the Eagles were to sign him, if this workout does go well at the NovaCare Complex in South Philadelphia today on Tuesday, he would move inside. So could that help him out as he gets older? He's lost a little bit of that speed, even though Schultz, which I think is a little bit of a cat, throwing out 4.4 40-yard dash guy, even sub, could he make up for some of that lost speed at the slot inside nickel spot? That's kind of the thought process here. As for the Eagles' next move, we kind of talked about this on Monday's show. Like, they have a variety of options right now outside of signing William Jackson. You could put James Bradberry in the slot, a quote from him on that role coming up here in just a second. You could go with one of the younger players, Mario Goodrich, to step up. I thought as the game wore on against Minnesota when he was thrust into extended action after Maddox got hurt early in that game in that second quarter, Goodrich got lost in coverage a couple of times, missed that tackle on TJ Hawkinson on that touchdown pitch and catch from Kirk Cousins to Hawkinson, but then he got a little bit better. So he's going to be the next man up, at least in the immediacy, right? You could also experiment and get somewhat creative with Sidney Brown in the box and slot. At Illinois last year, the Fighting Illini had the best defense in college football. And a big part of that, they had Devin Witherspoon, who was a first-round pick, top 10 by the Seattle Seahawks. They also had Sidney Brown. They were loaded on that side of the ball. I love how their defensive coordinator and Brett Bielema kind of experimented with using Brown at all 3 levels of the field. Deep safety, linebacker, in the slot. Why do they do that? One, he's a 4.4 40-yard dash guy. He's, great size. He's maximized his frame, but he's versatile. He's instinctual. Has a knack for making plays. So why not kind of cater to your playmaker in Sidney Brown and let him impact the game at all 3 levels? So I want to see him on the field a little bit more. I know some people worry about the over-aggressiveness, but Sean Desai, this guy's a stud, and we saw it in the preseason. I think Philadelphia also, just because of the lack of cornerback depth right now, could maybe activate Eli Ricks. I love the swagger level that Eli Ricks plays with and has. I like the length. Remember, in the preseason against the Indianapolis Colts, he was going step for step with Alec Pierce. That's the Colts' number 2 wide receiver out of Cincinnati. Good player at the college level with Desmond Ridder. He was also covering Michael Pittman, the Colts' number 1 wide receiver. So I do think the ability, as a guy who's the number 1 rated corner out of his high school class, could allow him to not be overwhelmed by the moment. I think he's ready. And then lastly, you could sign a free agent in the form of a William Jackson or more replacements who we'll get to here in a bit. As for James Bradberry, talking about taking over the slot cornerback role for Avonte Maddox, he actually thinks that it would be a solid move and benefit him as well as this Eagles defense. I think my style suits it, Bradberry said, and I think also having me take some reps in there can help us in the future because offenses are so developed. They've got so many weapons on teams like tight ends, bigger receivers. They line up guys wherever. There's also wide receivers in the backfield. So having a corner, a bigger corner that can line up inside, take nickel reps, or even line up at safety, I feel like it helps you as a play caller. I'm always an advocate for putting your players in a position to succeed and catering to their strengths. Any boss in the common workplace should do that with their employees. Any coordinator should do that with their players, regardless of which side of the football it's on. And I think Bradberry makes some really solid points. If you do sign William Jackson, this goes either one of 2 ways. He's an experienced vet, he's played a lot in this league. He's been an okay player, not living up to those expectations of being a first-round pick out of Houston, but then he makes the switch inside and he plays well. That's option number 1. Option number 2, he's just bad, and he might be potentially washed. Bulging disc, always a little bit of a concern, but you put him in that slot spot. Does he make up for some of the play that's regressed as far as his athleticism goes into impacting how he plays in between the lines? Either way, I think the best option right now, and what I think Philadelphia is going to do, you see how Mario Goodrich can play. You experiment with Sidney Brown in the box. Bradberry gets some inside reps as well. Maybe that allows Eli Ricks to play on the outside because he's not really a slot guy. You let him swag out, make a depth addition if needed, and William Jackson can be that depth piece. As for the Maddox financial notes here and the impact of him being out this year and looking ahead into the future, because one of the big frustrations that Eagles fans have of Avonte Maddox, they hit on him in the draft coming out of Pitt. He was undersized then, but good ball skills, knack for making plays. He's had success at the NFL level when he's been able to stay healthy, but he's been injured a lot. And as we project forward, he's set to make an average annual salary of $7.5 million per year through 2025. So that's this year, that's next year, and then the year after that in which that contract runs through. Howie Roseman is a genius with the cap, genius with the financials. I wish he was my financial investor because I'd be a lot richer, but he's going to find a way to figure it out, but that's a lot of money for Maddox if he continues to be injured. As for the other top free agent cornerbacks who Philadelphia could look to target here outside of William Jackson, you have Casey Hayward out there, well-accomplished veteran who might be washed at 34 years old. You have Grant Haley, younger player. Anthony Brown, middle scale of that youth at 29. Cameron Dantzler, the pedigree there at 25, and then former Eagle for a short amount of time. Greedy Williams with the Birds in training camp. He too, 25 years old, still out there though. So that is pretty glaring given how many teams are looking for cornerbacks. So with that, we tee up our poll question for today's show. This will also be our pinned comment, so make sure you get those votes in right below this video. Should the Eagles sign William Jackson? S for sign, P for pass. And another reminder, E-A-G-L-E-S. Eagles now going live 5:30 p.m. today on this Tuesday. Subscribe to the show. Turn on those notifications by hitting that bell icon, and we'll catch you in a bit right here on the program.